Hello and welcome back to Dan on Dev. Today we are kind of getting to the end of our Why All Application Security Products Suck series. That's a mouthful there. We're getting to the end. We've now moved past the products. We've gone through each of the different product categories, and now we're moving beyond just what a product into a service as we discuss why all manual pen testing sucks. As with this whole series, the goal is not necessarily to beat up on any of the individual products or services in this case. We are really trying to understand the strengths and weaknesses of each of these solutions. As we go through each one and we're looking at it, we're trying to compare it against the idea that you're trying to pick one tool. If you're trying to pick one tool, you're likely to fail. What you need to do is look at all of the products, understand what each category or service, the products or services, how they each work, what they're good at. And just like if you were trying to build a house, you wouldn't pick only one tool to build with, you would pick a tool set. This is how you need to think about application security products. You need to look at what their strengths are along with how your environment is set up, because your environment is also going to be a big impact to the tools and the tooling that is going to actually work for you. So anyway, we're going to move on. We've kind of discussed this alphabet soup of categories of products. Now we're moving into the manual pen testing, which is really more of a service. It's kind of covered a little bit in this Veracode thing. You'll see all these checkboxes that are checked in the one from Veracode. But if you look, there's a couple key things that are not checked. That's kind of their perspective. I'm going to give you mine. But as always, we're going to do a quick 101 on what this is. Pen testing 101, basic idea. You actually have a human looking at the application, testing the application, trying to figure out what's going on, trying to break it, trying to find the weaknesses. They may have different levels of access. Maybe they're just accessing the website. Maybe they actually have the source code. It can vary dramatically here on what you've given them access to. But this is basically what they're working with. They actually are a human going at it. They're going to potentially do things that tooling may not do. So we'll get into that a little bit. We always figure out why they suck. What's the problem here? That sounds all great. You have all of this talent coming at your application. Well, one of the problems with that is that this can be a very time-consuming and expensive service to basically bring in, to pay for. So you're going to want to limit how often you do this because of that. You're not easily able to repeat it every time you build, every time you have a new release. You may do builds every week, every couple days, depending on your environment. You could be doing it every day. You're not going to be able to test that frequently. You're going to have to find those opportunities on key moments maybe to bring in those pen tests, or maybe you're just doing it annually. But that means you're going to have gaps in between where there's no testing that's taking place. So that's an issue. The other big issue is that your mileage may vary. You may have somebody that's a rock star that really knows their stuff, that's going to be able to get in there and find things. You may not. You might get somebody that's mediocre. Maybe it's a more junior person. Maybe it's just somebody that's not that motivated in the moment. This is a problem with this is just it does not scale. If you're going to be doing this frequently with all of your apps, and you may have many apps. I have, when we were doing the DAS scanning, I have customers with thousands of apps. The idea that they could actually hire a pen tester for all of them is not feasible. You usually need to kind of reserve this for the critical apps, the biggest, most important applications that you're really willing to invest that effort into. So that's a big piece of why this sucks. Now, why does this rock? What is amazing about the pen testing is this is really the only solution that you're going to find for testing the business logic vulns. This is where you're actually trying to look at things that may not actually be a direct vuln in like a SQL injection where you can actually test it and get a response back. This is where they're looking at, like, let's say I'm looking at my profile page, right? And it's got profile, and they may have like ID equals, I don't know, a number, let's say 15. They change it to a 16 and they see somebody else's information, right? That shouldn't be parameterized to begin with, but let's say it was. And normally you would be linking off to the one that this person has access to. But maybe by changing that value, I'm able to look at somebody else's data. There's no way for an automated tool to understand the context of all of this, to understand that before it was showing me my information, now it's showing me somebody else's that I probably shouldn't be able to see. That's a business logic flaw. That's where the access controls are not in place to protect content. Automated tool just doesn't understand context. So the manual pen tester is the only one that can find an issue like that. That's the power of a human tester. The human can actually make these leaps of logic. They can understand things that an automated tool is just, a very rote machine. Human can test things that aren't going to be thought of or preset by software coming at it, a tool. And by and large, you should be false positive free. They should validate their results, confirm things. They'll probably be a lot more confident before they report things in their testing. So that's a big key there. So that's another reason why pen testing really rocks. And it is a key piece of the tool set. It is a key piece that you want to bring in. Just running automated tools alone is not enough. You're going to need to have, especially for the most critical apps, I would really recommend having pen testing come in, do their assessment. Ideally, you can have the automated tools running to find the basic stuff, all of the key things that automation is good for, and allow the human pen tester to focus on these business logic sort of flaws. I think that combo is really powerful and generally what I recommend. Anyway, that's how I would approach it. It's about bringing together all of the different tools. I'm going to be trying to get another episode together, bring in some other people to kind of maybe debate some of these topics, debate the differences between the tools. Maybe others will highlight things that I didn't or criticize things that I hadn't. So we'll talk about that. I'm going to be bringing another episode that'll end up in this series. But aside from that, this is the end of the Why All Application Products Suck series. And thank you for joining. I hope to get that next episode out here soon. But I appreciate if you would click the like button, follow the channel. I'm going to be doing a lot more. So look forward to it.